How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Hardware Overload and my look at the Gigabyte Z890 Aorus Pro Ice. Now, they have been out for a bit now, but I got my hands on one of these bad boys, so I'm going to take a look at it. Not going to do a full review, but unboxing, check it out, and see if it's actually worth getting. But anyways, let's quickly go over the pricing. So the board is currently retailing for around $330 or 9,000 Rand for here in South Africa. But anyway, let's open it up and see what's inside. So of course we have our nice looking white board here, also pretty heavy. First thing I noticed that we have actually included fan. This is something that I haven't seen included with I think any other board, or maybe like one other one, which is also probably double this price. So that is actually pretty cool. You have your D connector for your front I/O. You have a sensor, a thermal sensor, I believe. You have some stickers, you have your warranty or manual guide, you have another sensor, and just some other paperwork as well. Now, I can't seem to find the Wi-Fi antenna. Maybe that is still with the previous reviewer. So, we'll see where that actually is. Let's quickly get it out of packaging here so we can take a look at this beautiful board. There we go. So this is the LGA 1851 socket. So it only supports the latest Core Ultra CPUs. So you can't pair it up with any of the previous i range of CPUs. I'm gonna mess up so many times saying i7 instead of Core Ultra 7 or Ultra 7, but I'll just cut all of that out. And it should also support some of the future CPUs as well. I'm not sure how far it's going to go, but I think it should at least support the next generation of Intel CPUs. Now, at this price point, you would either pair it up with a Core Ultra 7 or a Core Ultra 9. We'll go over the VRMs and everything to see if it's actually worth pairing up with Ultra 9. Even though I'm not going to overclock the board and the CPU, we can quickly just go over some of the features that the board has. So it is going to support Aorus's AI Snatch technology, and then also it does support their Hypertune BIOS. So the AI Snatch is apparently coming soon. It's not out yet, but it will automatically overclock your CPU and your memory with just a single click. Now, I haven't used this Aorus AI Snatch, but some of the other ones, you do get a nice performance increase, even though it's a couple of percent here and there. But again, with just a single click, you can overclock your CPU. You don't have to do anything, which is always nice, especially for you out there that don't really know how to manually overclock, which is a very nice feature. Now, speaking of higher end CPU and also overclocking, we're definitely going to need a pretty beefy set of VRMs, and it does look to be the case here. So you have a 16 plus 1 plus 2 power stages and a decently large set of heat spreaders to cool them. You also have a heat pipe connecting them both for additional cooling. Now, I'm not exactly sure. I would imagine that you can use that additional fan that was in the box to help cool your VRMs, but I can't exactly see where you would mount it. So I'll just take a look at the manual to actually see where you would mount that, but I would imagine it's to help cool your VRMs. So it does look like it should be able to handle a nice overclock, especially if you just want to use Intel's Turbo Boost as well, or if you want to manually overclock, you do have that option as well. Just again, make sure that you have a nice cooler. Luckily, with the new platform, it does also have the same mounting system as the previous boards, these LG 7800 and so on, so you can use older coolers with this board to help cool your CPU. Now, moving on to our memory, so we do have 4 DDR5 DIMM slots with some extra support as well to help prevent the board from bending, but it only seems to be these 2, so the main 2. The other ones doesn't look to have that shield technology or whatever, but it does support a maximum of 256 gigs at speeds up to 9,500 mega transfers per second. So that is pretty quick. And of course, inside the BIOS, you can use XMP to overclock, and then also your Hypertune to get extra performance out of your memory. That's going to handle all of the timings and overclock and everything, so that is always handy. Now, just a reminder that I do also have a few other channels as well. So this is Hardware Overload for all of our hardware related PC components. Do also have Gaming Overload for all of our peripherals, monitors, gaming setups, and so on. And then also Unbox Overload, where I'm going to do more unboxings. Usually this would go there, but I want to feature it on Hardware Overload instead. So there's a ton more content for you guys to go and enjoy, and also a lot more to come in the future. So definitely check this out in the link in the video description. Now moving on towards our PCI Express slots over here. So we do have 3 full-size slots, with the top one being a Gen 5 and the bottom 2 being a Gen 4. Now the top one does run at full 16x speed, but it looks like the middle one here is only 1x and the bottom one is a 4x. So just keep that in mind for all of your additional add-on cards that you would like to use. But for the top slot, not only does it also have armor design, which just helps prevent the board from bending for those heavy GPUs, but it does also feature their easy latch, where you can quickly release your GPU and get it out instead of needing to fiddle around with a finger and everything inside there. So one press of this button and it's going to release your GPU, which is super handy. Now moving on to storage, you do have a 5 M.2 slots over here. Now a nice feature that Aorus added is their Q Latch Plus, where you can just slide this slider here on the side and actually get the each sprayer completely off. So some of the other boards, you have the top one does feature like a latch or whatever, you can quickly get that one off, but it doesn't feature for the bottom one. So Aorus did add it towards the bottom one as well, which is pretty nice. So we can also get rid of the top one here, boom, just like that. So no need to fiddle around with screws and tiny screws and everything. Just with a slide you can get it off. The top one being a Gen 5 as well, and the raised being a Gen 4. All of them does also feature Aorus's, if I can just get it in there, Easy Latch Plus, so you can easily install your M.2 and also get it out. So that's just the one bottom one here as well. Boom, boom, just like that. Again, no need to worry about those tiny screws, especially if your motherboard is already installed. And the top one does also support the extremely long 25-110 size M.2s. Not that I've really seen one in person, but it does support that. And the raised goes up to the 22-110, which is also quite long. But now, while I put all of this back, just show you guys how easy it is. If you are enjoying the content so far, definitely do the like, subscribe, and all of that. But also, if you guys have any products you would like me to feature on this channel, maybe compared to some of the other products that I have on hand as well, then just leave me a comment below, or better yet, you can tag me and the brand in a tweet or an X post or whatever, or pretty much any other social media platform that I'm on, and I can check if I can actually get that arranged for you. So there we go. Then moving on towards our I/O, we do have our integrated I/O cover, which is always nice. We do have 4 USB 2.0 type A ports. We have 4 USB 3.2 Gen 1 5 gigabits per second ports. We have 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2 10 gigabits per second ports as well. Then we have 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, or USB 4. So that is a very nice addition. Super quick, 40 gigabits per second. They have your 5 gigabits per second Ethernet port, your Wi-Fi 7, their easy plug Wi-Fi 7 and antenna connector. You do have your standard audio connections and also SPDIF out ports. So I have to say, I'm very happy with the amount of I/O you get. Now, it is a high-end board, so I would expect it, but it's just a nice addition, especially those 2 Thunderbolt ports. But now let's quickly check out the rest of the connections around the board. So we do have our dual 8-pin CPU power connectors. We have 24 motherboard power. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 PWM fan headers. Here at the top, you do have 1, 2, 3 5-volt addressable RGB headers and a single 12-volt. Then you have your postcode and your post LEDs here as well to let you know if something goes wrong, if your memory is a problem, if your video card is a problem, whatever. So that's always handy. And you can also check the code as well. Then you have your buttons for power, for reset, and also for your Q flash. So if you want to flash your BIOS, you do have a direct button for that. Moving that down, we have a sensor here. I think it's a noise sensor. So that is one of the sensors that's included inside the packaging. So you do have that. You have your 20 gigs per second Type-C front panel connector here. I do have your 5 gigabits per second USB-A header here as well. Then you also have your, I believe it's a sensor link HDMI. I didn't write the exact name down. Now, what this HDMI is for is actually pretty cool, and I haven't seen it on some of the other brands' boards, but you've probably seen on Instagram especially that some people have like a monitor inside their case to show off the sensors and the temperatures and everything. So that is what this HDMI is for. So you can connect your HDMI directly towards the board instead of like the graphics card or at the back of your I/O here. So that goes directly into that. Now, it's a pretty niche connector, but it is still pretty cool. And if I actually had a system with a monitor inside to show off the temps and everything, I would definitely appreciate having the connector here on the board and not needing to route my HDMI cable all the way towards the back. Then moving on, we have our front panel connectors here. We do have 2 USB 2 headers. We have our clear CMOS jumper here as well. And that is pretty much it for all of the different connections. So that's pretty much it for a look at the Aorus or Gigabyte Aorus. I never know which one you should actually go. So Gigabyte Z890 Aorus Pro Ace, there we go. So a nice board. Also, again, for $350, it's up there, but also not too expensive, especially when comparing to the competition as well. You have plenty of connections. You have your Thunderbolt connectors for your I/O here at the back, which personally I like. The VRMs look decent. You have plenty of storage options. Your PCI Express slots are decent as well. Perfect for a Core Ultra 7 or Core Ultra 9. So there we go. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you want to get the board for yourself, I will leave links in the video description. Big shout out to Gigabyte South Africa for sending the board over for this unboxing, which is all of the other stuff as well that I've recently took a look at. Again, definitely go check out my other channels as well if you want more content and just a ton more to come in the future. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll check all of you next time. Cheers, guys.